Not my glasses. These are my wife's glasses, but they're going to work. Or I hope they work. Kind of matches my shirt. Well, what? Oh, all right. Well, welcome and thank you all for coming. This day means a whole lot to our family. Don, Robin, and myself, and I am the youngest, if anybody doesn't realize that. Just thank you guys all for coming. It's very, very important to get the family together, and this is what this is going to be about. I mean, it's celebration of life for Mom, which was important, but more importantly is our family getting together, renewing friendships and contacts, and man, I ain't seen you forever, and et cetera, and going back through life stories and things, because that is so, so important to the family. And we're unique, a unique family, a blessed family. And here comes the older brother right there. Oh no, that's Robin and Karen. Anybody else out there coming in? No? Okay. But I'd like to introduce first, have Don stand and Don's family stand up. There's his wife Janet, Leslie, Nick and Jake and Steve. They're here from the Phoenix area. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Janet and Leslie specifically for all they did for Mom. And Don and the rest of the family, but they really stood in the gap for the family the last few years of Mom's life. Thank you guys very much. Now, Robin, stand up and let's see your clan. You can introduce them if you want to. Yeah, and they come from New Hampshire and Chicago, so they traveled a ways to get here. What? I don't have any idea. I don't see Brandon. They're running late. Well, you'll know him when you see him. He's about 6'6" and pretty skinny, so he'll be here in a minute. My family, you can stand, please. My wife Cindy. 47 years, son Sterling, grandson Richard, Stacy, daughter-in-law, middle daughter Reagan, Junior, Titus and Wesley, can't forget those grandsons, and Veda, namesake Veda, and Malcolm, and over here we've got Aaron, son-in-law Tommy, Sade, and already said hey to Richard. So that's our group, and we're from down in the hill country in Texas. They let us up there without a passport. It's pretty cool, you know. I had a birth certificate. Come on in, guys. A little story on Mom. We were there in April, and she was, as Tom had said earlier today, she spoke it the way she wanted to hear it. She didn't pull a whole lot of punches. And Mom requested, she said, now y'all can have a memorial service, but it's to get the family together. She said, I really don't want a funeral. I don't want a church service. We had one anyway. And she said, I don't want no preaching, Drew. So I don't think we're getting that tonight either. But that was her request, and it was very important to her for us to do that. And again, Mom was one that she said, I want you guys to get together, to interact, to renew friendships, get to know each other again, play music, and eat. So today we will celebrate Mom, but more importantly, we celebrate the family. And before I get on to that, again, this family is so special. I wrote a little deal here, but the heavenlies have called. Mom and Pop Isaacs. And if anybody's here with the name I come up with, you can stand also. Wyoma, she was the eldest. And these are not in chronological order. I think Polly and Chris are in Illinois. Beecher's family, if you guys would stand. There they are. All right, Gary and Susie, Justin, Mike and Nathan, Drew, Phyllis. That's neat. Audrey, we all knew Audrey and Ode. There's nobody here. Arville's family. There they are. They got a good representation there. Remember him well. I don't think we have any of the Bakersfield Lola and E.T. bunch here, I don't believe. Raymond's, I don't think we have anybody here from Raymond's family. Would Neva's family please stand up? There we go. Yes, sir. That's good. All right, thank you. Vernon's family. There we go. All right. Yeah. How about Doug's? Here we go. All right. Very good. All right. And then, of course, Mom's passing. Bill is the last of 13. So, Bill, would your family please stand and you can introduce them?
My daughter Joni and her husband Rob Brown. My daughter Tana and her husband Scott Johnson.
Thank you. Well, Mom was born on October 12, 1929, and passed away this past April. A few things that I wrote to kind of express who she was. Mom was steadfastly independent, extremely loyal to a fault. She was a woman of faith and a great prayer warrior with a lot of charm and grace, and was resolute of opinion. You know, when she knew it, she knew it. And Mom, no, Roman, this is it. So I had to kind of do what I had to do. But today we'll celebrate Mom and stories, and then maybe what family means to each of you as you come up. Just ask that you introduce yourself. You know, if you're going to play, sing, or talk, but introduce yourself and tell us which part of the branch of the family tree that you were on. That's important. But on a story on Mom, me being the youngest, I had a special place in her heart. You know, I did. She was, and I used that place quite often. Robin said the other day, he said, you know, we'd come down for breakfast and she'd have something for me and Don, and then she'd say, and Roman, what do you want for breakfast? I said, that's okay, I'll take that. So a few years later, I was at Eastern Arizona Junior College and working in the cafeteria for a little extra money, and it was a Friday night, and I'd called Mom and said, hey, I'm going to be up on the weekend, and I'll come in Friday night, not real late, but it'll be dark. And I had my little Honda, so I took off for Morenci from Safford and across the straight stretch, which some of us all know, and stopped by the house before she said, oh yeah, I'll be at the football game. Me and Dad will be at the football game. Okay. And that was up in Old Morenci. So I got there. I stopped at the house a little bit, used the restroom, whatever, was a little hungry, so went in the kitchen, and Dad's bird dog, Topper, was there, kind of looking at me. And when I walked to the refrigerator, the dog really looked at me like, hey, you're going to do something for me. So I opened it up, looked in there. I was hungry, always hungry. And there was some steak wrapped up nice on a plate. I said, that's perfect. So the dog like almost growled, but I ate the steak, told the dog to go away, got on my motorcycle, rode up the mountain to Morenci. Found him sitting in the stands. Mom saw me just grinning. Oh, glad you made it. Yeah, I made it. Are you hungry? No, I'm not hungry. You're not hungry? No, I stopped at the house and ate some leftover steak that was in there. Silence. You didn't. What? That was the dogs. So at that point in life, I knew that youngest status, perfect spot I had for so many years was gone. I was no longer that person. But oh well, you know, it happens. But as far as family's concerned, you know, the Beecher's family and our family and the Coxes migrated from Oklahoma to the copper mines in Arizona back in the late 40s, early 50s. And every two weeks out of every year, they would shut the mine down for mine maintenance, and everybody would take their vacations at that time. Well, there was only one place to go, and that was to the farm. Well, at least for a week, every year, we would gather and head to the farm. A special, magical place. Sleeping under the tree, the old beds. Bill, your spot was on the screen and back porch down at the end. That was his space, you know, and we all knew it. Yes.
You guys always brought the best fireworks.
Oh, yeah. Fireworks, kicked the can, played games. But all the cousins would come in, and maybe not at the same time, but my goodness, that meant a lot to us. That was family. Mom's cooking breakfast for us, and go down to the garden with Pop, watch him dig potatoes. Absolutely magical, and that was the start of family for our group. It was just wonderful, and we'll remember it forever. But we want to use this time, me, Don, and Robin, to not forget our family, for this to happen more often, with it not being a memorial service, but a family gathering. It would be wonderful. So let's remember that, and we'll elect Drew or Phyllis to head that up. Uh-oh. Yeah. But anyway, I wrote a little deal. Heaven's gate has opened once again. The last goodbye spoken, the last teardrop shed, the last hug given with grace as she left to meet Jesus face to face. So I'm going to open it up. Come up, tell a story, play a song, say what the family means to you, a story of mom, if you have one, and introduce yourselves as we go along as to who you belong to and which branch of the tree you're on. So if somebody you guys want to play some music first?
That's up to these guys. I'm with them.
Well, why don't y'all come up here and play a little music for us?
Make sure it's all in the car. I didn't even bring the stuff in.
Uh-oh.
I thought you guys were going to do some stuff. Bring it, get your stuff, let's play.
Let somebody else go while he's getting the stuff.
Yeah. Does anybody want to come up and speak? Here you go, Cindy.
I'm Cindy. I'm with Roman. And I was just remembering, I don't like this thing. I was just remembering whenever we had gotten engaged, and I thought that Roman had called his parents to tell him. Well, he did, but he didn't get to tell him because he found out that Mom Isaacs had passed away. And so he said, well, I want you to go with me to the funeral. And I'm like, okay. And he said, oh, well, you know, it's going to be on the farm, and there's there's not an indoor bathroom. I said, well, do they have a store in town that has a bathroom? And they did, so I said, well, okay, I can handle that, I just won't drink anything. And then I remembered that Roman had said something about Pop didn't really think that women ought to wear makeup, and I'm like, you're not wanting me to go and not wear any makeup, are you? And no, you could go ahead and wear makeup. So, okay. So I get in there, and we're all sitting around the table, and there's a cajillion people. I don't even know how many. They kept bringing people and introducing them. I'm like, well, I hope they don't give me a test on this because it's not going to work. But anyway, I'm sitting there, and Veda looks over, and she said, oh, is that what I think it is? Pointing to my finger. And I'm like, Roman didn't tell you? And she said, no. And everybody goes, Roman. And I mean, it was just like an echo. And I said, as long as you're thinking it's an engagement ring, that's what it is. And so that was how everybody found out that we were engaged, and how Veda found out that we were engaged. So I always got a kick out of that. So.
That's not the only thing he is, Jay.
Uh-oh. I kind of stays. Here comes Robin.
Of course, I love my mom. I talk to her a couple times a week, all my life, it seems like, and miss her greatly. And every week I want to pick up the phone and give her a call, and I realize she's gone. Just a couple of things. I work in the construction industry. I'm a contractor, and some of them are pretty rough people. And they ask me, how come you never swear? I have never heard you say a swear word. And, I said, well, it wouldn't glorify the Lord, but I'll tell you the real reason. I was probably early teens, and outfielders misjudged the fly ball and ruined my no-hitter. And I got in the car and I said a swear word. When we got home, she said, follow me. And she took me into the bathroom and she said, take this soap. She washed my mouth out with soap. And I never forgot that. So one of the things, just a silly little thing. One morning, she said, get up, get up, get up. It's, time for school. She said, you got to get up. It said, it snowed outside. And it doesn't snow in Morenci very often. And so we got up and ran to the window. And she said, April Fool. It was April 1st. Well, the next year, she come and says, get up, it snowed outside. And we didn't budge, just covers over her head. And it had snowed. But she was a lot of fun, a real gamesman. But I'll always remember her tickling those ivory keys and playing a little boogie woogie. And so she loved music. One of the places that we spent a lot of time growing up was on the Blue River in Arizona, and where we would hunt. And later on, when they retired up in the mountains, they become a part of a group called the Cowbells, which is the women on the Blue. And I took one of my grandsons, Lee, hunting there several years ago, and they were having a bake sale at near the Blue School in a little tiny one-room schoolhouse. And we went in there, and all those people remembered my mother and her playing the piano there for them. So, but thank you all for being here. It's so wonderful to see each of you.
All right. Thank you, Robin. Hey, Brandon, you made it. That's good. All right. We got somebody else want to speak while we're waiting on the musicians to get ready to go? Okay, Aaron.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm LaVeda's third granddaughter, right? Third in line. I'm Roman's daughter. But my grandma is amazing. You know, I remember going to the cabin when I was little, and that was great. And then I decided to be a little wild child. Yeah. I found myself in a predicament where I'd gotten married at 17, and I had Richard. Woo. At the beginning of my marriage, and at the end of my marriage, lo and behold, I found myself pregnant with Sade, and it was a bad situation, but the loyalty of my grandma and Susie, Gary, you know, I came to Kanawha. In fact, Sade could have been born in Kanawha had I stayed. In fact, it was my first experience seeing praise and worship in a church. I can remember going to church and seeing people jumping, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, what is going on? I went and sat outside in the back because it was a little much for me. I hadn't experienced that before, but that was the first taste of the Holy Spirit, really, for me. And my grandma, Susie, drove me to Phoenix, and my grandma took me in and loved on me and just was amazing to me. Yeah, in fact, I could have stayed in Phoenix had I stayed. Anyway, Broken Road led me to Tommy, and I'm glad I am where I am today. But my grandma is so sweet. And thank God that for my birthday, for the last 9 or 10 years, was to get to go see my grandma and sit with her and spend time with her and talk to her. And she was so loyal and so sweet and shared so much of her heart, you know. And I was always amazed how she could stay alone in her home. And she wasn't really alone, but she was. But that's what she wanted. And she didn't do what she didn't want to do. I can tell you that right now. Yeah. No, no doubt. The game was on. She knew the trades and what was going on here and there, but she knew, and she was happy, but she missed my grandpa. You know, he left really early, and she missed him. And I miss her, and I miss him too, but I'm so glad to get to meet you guys. I don't get to see you guys. It's almost like we're strangers, but we're family. And yeah. So I thank God for that, and I thank God that her wishes are being met today with all of us here today. So thank you.
All right, who's next on the list? It's kind of quiet out there. Here comes Bill.
Okay. Well, Levada was 7 years older than me. So when I was 9, she was 16. So I didn't really have a lot of interaction with her. And what year did she marry? Wasn't she 16 years old when she married?
16 or 17.
Yeah.
Because she had
Yeah.
3 boys before she was 21.
Yeah. Well, they mentioned that piano and her boogie woogie. Well, we had the old piano in the old house place down there where you're talking about. And one time I was making a trip back to California. I lived there for 50 years. So I loaded up that piano on a trailer and hauled it to Arizona. I guess that's where it was. Might have been, was it Alpine or Morenci? Anyway, and we unloaded it and took it in the house. She started playing it.
Yeah.
So she played the boogie woogie. She was a little old and she had left home, so I didn't have that much interaction with her. But she was a beautiful woman, beautiful young girl. And she was a loving person, and I loved her so.
Thank you. Yeah, there's no doubt. Full of grace, very pretty. She handled it a long time by herself. You know, she loved Dad immensely. So we'll always have that with us. And here comes Brother Don. Yes, sir.
Day late and a dollar short. Well, I don't have anything prepared, but get it up closer. Well, there's so many things that I can think of. I wouldn't really know where to start, and I wouldn't really know where to finish. So, but I'm like my brothers. We loved her very much, and we miss her very much. Every day, I get ready to pick up the phone to call her. Then I say, well, no, she's not here. And so, you know, I'll do that probably for years and years. And, you know, like it's been said, you know, she was set in her ways, and and I couldn't change them. Whatever it was, whether we're going to a doctor's appointment or whatever, nope. This is the road we take to the doctor's appointment. And I said, well, Mom, we can go this way. Nope. But, you know, that's just the way it was. That's the way she was. And so I didn't try to change her anymore. This is the way it is. And, but, you know, I don't really have any stories. Like I said, there's just too many. I wouldn't even know where to start. But we're so happy to be here today, to see everybody. It's just, you know, it's been too long to be away from here. I don't even remember the last time I was here. I don't know whether it was Beecher's funeral or whatever. It's been a long time. So I'm going to pass the mic to someone else that maybe has a story that would entertain somebody. So
Gary's got one.
While he's coming, I had one other thought. I have a house down here, not too far from the old farmhouse, and it sleeps about 18. And we have continued. What's happened at the old house, we have big trees. You take your bed outside and sleep under the tree if you want to. But we do have refrigeration, so we don't have to do that anymore.
You know, Bill, he has lost 12 brothers and sisters. He's the only one left. And so I just can't imagine that, you know, thinking of my brothers and family. But the good news is everybody was saved. Everybody gave their life to Jesus. So we're going to all have the big reunion up in a different place. It's called the New Jerusalem. It's going to be unbelievable. Now, I was raised with Robin, Donnie, and Roman, and Levada and Gene. Gene was a fantastic guy, too. But Levada, I made a bet with her one time. I was 8 years old, and my mother was pregnant with twins. And I bet her $1 that they were both going to be boys. And she said, no, at least one of them will be a girl. But they were both boys. And Drew and David, and then I went to collect my money, and she said, I'm not paying you. And she said, but I'm making some cookies and stuff here, and I'm making fudge. And she said, I'll be giving you that. So she actually did pay me back. But Levada, she was fantastic. And these boys, they're like my brothers. You know, we're cousins, but they're like my brothers. Robin, Roman, and Donnie. I want to tell a quick story about Donnie. And you're not going to believe it. You're going to think I'm telling a lie when I tell you this. And he told me this yesterday. He said he was in school in Morenci, Arizona, and there was a girl in his class, and she come up to him and said, "I've heard that you're from Oklahoma." And he said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, I'm from Oklahoma." Now, this girl's in his class, and he says, "Well, where you from out there?" And she said, "I'm from Ada, Oklahoma." And she said, "I was born in the Ada hospital." And Donnie said, "Well, I was born in the Ada hospital." And he said, when was you born?" And she told him the date, and it was Donnie's birthday. They were both born on the same day in the Ada hospital as babies, and there they was in Morenci, Arizona, in the same class. So that was unbelievable. But I tell you what, we just had a blast. I wasn't a good kid, though. I was kind of mean when I was young, but Donnie, Robin, and Roman, they were fantastic. They were good. And Levada, she was always good to us. And Gene Dale, I went deer hunting with him one time, and we come around a corner, and it was snowing, and there's a truck come around the corner on the wrong side of the road, and we hit head on up in the mountains. And this guy had a pickup, and it was full of apples. And it tore Gene's truck up. He got mad, and he said, "I need to go get me some apples." But anyway, that guy didn't have no insurance, and so, but we got up there, and it was snowing so hard we couldn't even deer hunt, so we had to come back home. But there's story after story. These boys, I could tell you tons of stories about these boys, but most of it's bad, so I won't say nothing.
That was Don and Robin. I had nothing to do with it. I'm innocent of everything. Come on up, Erica.
I just have jot some notes down so I know when to start, when to finish.
Oh.
I put some notes down. I'm Erica, first grandchild, Robin's daughter. Well, I said granddaughter this morning, but I actually wanted to start with stories of Grandpa Gene Dale. Grandpa Gene Dale made me a rocking chair. This is a story that was told to me. And I was he had these 3 boys, and then this little girl was born. You know, this granddaughter didn't know what to do. So he spent all this time crafting this rocking chair for me for like a toddler. And the story goes, Grandma Veda was giving me a bath, and I got out of the bathtub and saw that rocking chair, and I just made a beeline to it, and I just sat and rocked in it. The other special memory I have of Grandpa Gene Dale was I helped survey the porch. He took me outside, and he says, "Now, you're going to look through this little thing, and you're going to tell me the numbers, you know, as I..." And he built that porch, and many of you know there was a surprise for Grandma. The railing were her initials, V.A., all the way around. So I helped survey that porch. I don't even know what that is or what I did. I just know I stood there. I was out there for an hour or so looking through this piece of equipment and giving him numbers. But that was fun. So Grandma was, I just jotted down some personality traits. She's very intelligent. She could spell anything. She was the walking dictionary. And when Grandpa was writing letters, he was often asking her another opinion on how to spell a word. She was very observant. And I know as a child, she'd take me, and maybe the other grandkids remember this, and she'd point at something and say, "Looky there." And it would be something in nature or something that she had seen. She's quiet, but she was a quiet force with a servant heart, always serving, always cooking, always cleaning, always straightening up. She and I would go up to the loft when the whole family was there. We'd all sleep in the loft. And after breakfast and after dishes, she and I would go up there and we'd make all the beds for everybody. I still make my bed the way she taught me to make it. Jess and B, can I share your story about observing? We knew that Jess was the one. Jess had come to Leslie's wedding. Brandon had brought the girlfriend, and she was helping him get ready because he was going to play. So it's shirt and shoes running out the door, and or he had forgotten the shoes. Jess came run out the door with the shoes, going, "Don't forget your shoes," you know. And Grandma said, "Well, she just picks up right where Karen left off. This is the one, you know." So Grandma called it first, and one of the stories she told me, and this is the last couple points I want to make. She grew up, yes, one of 13, and finances were tight. I would send her a Valentine's Day card every Valentine's Day, and she said when she was little, the sisters, they would have the same Valentine cards every year. They would write in pencil very lightly so that they could erase and send it again the next year. And that was a lesson, a life lesson that she lived with, was being very frugal and careful. She told a story about how every Christmas they would go to church, and there was a family that only had one child, one little girl. And that every year there would be a doll, a beautiful doll waiting for this girl. And her excitement was that every Christmas she was going to get to see the new doll that little girl would get. And that was enough. And it was her contentment, and also her heart knowing that her family had been blessed with 13 children. And this family, you know, had the one. That was it. And so I always wanted to get her a doll. She bought me a doll. We lost that in the fire, but I remember that doll. You would turn it, and it would cry. Of course, I played the piano. She taught me Boogie Woogie, and I play that in the mood like she did. She taught it to me. It was very important. She taught us the importance, the children, of sitting and listening to the old stories. That was important to her. And she would go get the kids and say, "You need to come in here and sit down." And we'd sit around and we'd talk and we'd listen and pick guitar and sing the old songs. But the two things, I told you many things: a quiet force, a servant heart, very intelligent. But that contentment has stayed with me too. The contentment she had with her life, and how proud she was of her family. So,
Thank you. All right, here we are. Oh, Reagan, you first. Brandon, you're next, bud. Go ahead, Reagan.
Hi, I'm Reagan. I'm Roman's middleist. Yes. No, my memory of my grandmother is just when she would come to visit. Well, several. I mean, she volunteered with a local Goodwill or thrift store, and she would send us clothes that she had picked out specially for us, and that was always special. But what stands out most is her playing the piano. So she'd come over and she'd sit down, and Aaron would have her play Blueberry Hill, you know, that kind of stuff. And I asked her one time, because I was very interested in playing the piano, I said, "Grandma, how do you do that?" And she said, "Well, I listen to the song, and then I play it." I was like, "Okay, all right." That was it.
Yeah, that was a lot of times as a family would get together and stuff, and she'd sit at the piano and, "Hey, Mom, could you play this? We'll hum it." Okay. Then all of a sudden, man, she just light it up and play the whole thing. It's just absolutely amazing. It's one of the regrets I had when I was 11, 12 years old. She said, "Hey, Roman, I could teach you how to play the piano." "No, Mom, I got to play baseball." And now it's like, man, I wish I would have listened to her one of many times, because watching her play up to the last few years was just absolutely amazing, thrilling, touches your heart. Brandon B.
She was my grandmother, a wonderful grandmother, and partially, I think, why I love music so much. But she certainly had her own way of doing things and was very cautious, especially as she got older. Jess and I always laugh about this one story. It was for Leslie's wedding, and Jess and I were tasked with picking up Grandma and taking her to the rehearsal dinner. So, it's a day in Phoenix, just a nice day in Phoenix, and we drive to the restaurant, and we park in the parking lot right next to this little wispy Charlie Brown type of a tree. And my grandmother goes, "Well, I just don't think this is a very good place for you to park." And we said, "Well, why is that, Grandma?" She said, "Well, it's just not very cautious, and I just think when the storm comes in and blows that tree right on top of your rental car, you're going to regret it." And Jess and I are looking up at the blue sky, and we're trying to figure out, what is it that she's worrying about here?
That's funny. All right. Oh, here comes Shannon. Yeah.
All right. I am Shannon. I am the middle daughter of Robin and Karen, and that was my grandmother. So I have a lot of great memories. One of my earliest, I think, one thing I always knew about my grandmother is her sense of style and fashion. She was always put together. And one of my earliest memories was I was going to be able to ride with her to the Alpine Market. And so I went and changed my clothes because we were going to go in her Camaro. It just like all these little things. And then she had these fabulous dresses from when she was first married. And they were, just really stylish. And we got them as dress-up clothes when we were kids and got to play in them. And even as years went by, every time she came over, it was always put together, always looked so nice. She wouldn't go anywhere until she was put together. And about her faith, I think, over the years, we would talk about it a lot, and she would, always ask me, are you going to church, and what's going on? And then the last few years, when I would see her about every year, she would say goodbye to me. And she would say, I might not see you again, so I want to say goodbye. And I'd say, well, I will see you again, Grandma. Don't worry. And then I think it was 2 times before she passed when I saw her, she said, I just really, when I pass, I just want to be asleep. I just want to go to sleep. And I said, and then you're going to wake up in glory, and we will all see you again. So it was just and she's like, yes, I will wake up in glory.
That was great. Talking about old remembrances and stuff, how many people here know where San Carlos Reservoir is? There's a couple, not many. Well, it's in southeastern Arizona on the Gila River. We went behind the dam and camped. You couldn't get through that gate very often, but we were able to go down there, me and the boys and Dad, pitch the tent. And Mom's trademark at that point in time in life, lawn chair, pack of Marlboros, and something to drink. And she had sat there with her yellow casting rod and fishing. That was, boom, that's imprinted. I remember it forever. And she was sitting there, and all of a sudden, the rod went zoom. She's got a big one. And she fought it, and Gene Dale, help! And she got out of the chair, and she's running, fishing along and trying to get it. And here come a turtle about that big around. The turtle running that away. Threw the rod, cut the line, and that was a funny moment. But so many times, Tonto Lake, Big Lake, San Carlos, Roosevelt, or whatever, the lady was there helping with camp, feeding the guys. just amazing. Later on in life, Dad had those bird dogs, and Mom had a little camera, a little box camera for years. Well, he bought a real camera, taught her how to use it, and we've got some tremendous pictures of Dad quail hunting and the bird getting hit and stuff. And so she became quite the wildlife photographer also. That's some real stuff. So anyway, do we have, are they ready?
They're ready, I think.
Well, I'm going to turn this off and set it down.
Where's the musician?
Where they at? They back here somewhere?
They were in that room. Guys, are you back there?
Uh-oh.
Let's go.
They're going to come on stage and see him moving now.
Got some people coming? Okay, let's see what we got here.
These steps are big for an old woman.
Check, check, check.
Be my first time doing this one.
Hello.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, check your mic.
It's not on yet.
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
Mike, Mike. Headphones.
Hello.
Jeremy. Give me a kick.
This isn't on though. It's not turned on. I don't see any lights.
We're not prepared for this, can you tell?
Switch on in the back.
All right, y'all fix that. Okay, I want to say something before we play. Levada, like all my mom's sisters, was just a beautiful lady, and I loved her very much. And we look forward every summer to those vacations that y'all took, because that meant we got to go down there and stay up late and eat and listen to y'all tell stories while you played Shoot the Moon. And you got to do all the horseshoes and the stories under the tree with the horseshoes. And it was magical. I took one of my friends down there one time who couldn't believe that we didn't have indoor plumbing. They're like, what is this place? You know, because we had the pump and the bucket and the ladle and the whole thing. And I am so thankful for the life we got to see down there. And I know this morning it was demonstrated the faith of our family. And other people have talked about this, but the heritage of faith that we have in our family is such a blessing. And it is still up to each one of us to make a personal decision for Christ, period. But having that heritage of faith to back you, to show you who he is as you grow up, we are so blessed. And it's my hope and prayer that everyone in this room know him and will come be with us in heaven one day, where we have many waiting for us, you know. And so I'm thankful for our family and for those that are trying to keep it going. And I want to be one of those too. So this is my nephew. This is Chris. That's my brother. That's his son. This is Debbie. That's his mother. And this is his son, Karsten. And we've never done anything like this before. That's Jeremy. And there's Jeremy back there. That's my brother-in-law. And we're Nevas, in case you didn't know. We're Nevas.
So we came this morning prepared to do a couple of songs for the church service, and power went out. And it was out almost the whole entire service, and it just kind of changed the service. So we had these two songs kind of in the can with one practice. So we do have a couple in the can. I asked Jean if she would come up and lead us through something. We'll just kind of wing it through, or we can do our songs. And Karsten has one he could do, and then you're going to solo the whole time, right? We should sit. So we're winging it, but.
Yeah, we could do that one. Okay. It starts on a G. Yeah. Sometimes I feel to my knees and pray. Come, Jesus, come. Let today be the day. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna break, but I'm holding on to a hope that won't fade. Come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return to heal every hurt and right every wrong. We need you right now. Come and turn this around. 'Cause deep down I know this world isn't home. Come, Jesus, come. Jesus, come. There'll be no war. There'll be no change when Jesus comes. Let today be the day. He'll come for the weak and the strong is the same. All will believe in the power of his name. Come, Jesus, come. We've been waiting so long for the day you return. Heal every hurt, right every wrong. We need you right now. Come and turn this around. 'Cause deep down I know this world isn't home. Come, Jesus, come. Come, Jesus, come. One day he'll come and we'll stand face to face. Come and lay it all down, 'cause it might be today. Time is right now.
possible that I'll just stop playing bass at some point because I like to focus.
Yeah, just.
Let's try it. Yeah, this is a tough one. I think I'm just going to drop the bass. Let's just try and get some. The point of this song is for everybody to sing along. So if you've never heard it, then just try and pick up on it. We sing it over and over and over again. It should come to you. And then, Gina, you can back me up. All right, let's try it. Everybody, let's just find a place to center ourselves and put Jesus first above all things. A thousand generations falling down in worship to sing the song of ages to the Lamb. And all who've gone before us, and all who will believe, will sing the song of ages to the Lamb. Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all. All thrones and dominions, all powers and positions, your name, oh, it stands above them all. And the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. And if you've been forgiven, and if you've been redeemed, sing the song forever to the Lamb. Oh, and if you walk in freedom, and if you bear his name, sing the song forever to the Lamb. And we will sing the song forever and amen. And the angels cry, holy, all creation cries, holy, you are lifted high, holy, holy forever. Hear your people sing, holy, to the King of Kings, holy, you will always be, holy, holy forever. Let's drop it down. Sing with me. Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name stands above them all. All thrones and dominions, all powers and positions, your name stands above them all. Hallelujah. One more time. Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name always stands above them all. Above all thrones and dominions, all powers and positions, your name always stands above them all. One more time, people, come on. Your name is the highest, your name is the greatest, your name always stands above them all. Above all thrones and dominions, all powers and positions, your name, it stands above them all. And the
again. You will always be holy. Sing them one more time with me. You will always be holy, holy. Praise Him.
Well, do we have any other musicians maybe wanting to play a little? Oh,
I'd like to hear some boogie woogie piano.
well, Reagan can do that probably. Well, here comes Karen. Karen's going to have a word for us. Thank you guys for the music.
That was great. I enjoyed it so much. You know, as we read through the Bible, we come across verses. Now, who does that remind me of? Because I really need a real person to set that example. And in Titus, it says in the second chapter, in the same way, older women are to be reverent in behavior, not slanderers, not slaves to excessive drinking. They are to teach what is good, so that they may encourage the young women to love their husbands, love their children, be self-controlled, pure, workers at home, kind, and in submission to their husbands, so that God's word may not be slandered. And I thought, do I know somebody like that? And that was Sylveta. She was just such a great example to me. Never preachy, never correcting, but by her words and her deeds, she showed me how to do that. I was thinking, I loved to go visit her because her house was so clean. We always said, well, you could eat off the floor. It's so clean. And I'm thinking, when I'm scrubbing toilets, for this I went to college. And I think of my mother-in-law ironing everything, even the sheets, the towels, the underwear. She was just amazing. So she said, come, I want to show you how Robin likes this cooked. I think it was Thanksgiving or something. And I'm thinking, okay. I was raised with a Danish cook, but I didn't say anything. I just watched. Come to find out, Robin likes to eat anything. So there was no problem. You know, she was a person that did not gossip. Yes, she did not. She kept her mouth shut. And that was a lesson to me. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything. And to love your husbands. Now that's a hard one, isn't it? And I watched her. And you know what? The funny thing is that Gene Dale came up with some great ideas of things to do. He was always fun, and we enjoyed it. And I have found the same thing about my husband. He has some great ideas. And I learned that by example, by following her example. Remember, we had the saying in our house, there's more than one way to do things, so we'll do it your dad's way. It takes a lot of faith to do that, believe me. And the other verse that came to my mind is that I read this in 1 Peter. Be hospitable to one another without complaining. Just as each one has a gift, use it to serve others as good stewards of a very grace of God.
Who do we know that was so hospitable? How many have tasted her hospitality? Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? So I have one little story to tell you. Shannon and I were visiting my mother and in Scottsdale and with Roy and Lee, and the air conditioning went out. And here it's 9 o'clock at night. What are we going to do? It's middle of summer. Oh, I said, we'll call Veda and see if we can come over there. She said, well, sure, just come on. She had the pallets out. She had the beds made. She was ready for us. And she said, is anybody hungry? Roy says, I'd like a peanut butter sandwich. And sure, that's what he got. That was my mother-in-law.
Thank you, Karen. All righty. Whoop, here. Yeah.
I know that Iris is going to sing, right? Okay, all right. So I'll follow you. I'll just show you the one little thing Grandma taught me, and
Okay.
then Reagan will take over. Her in the mood. If you all remember that one. Yeah. All right. So two of my favorites. Is it on? It's off in the back. In the back. In back left. Back. Back right. Oh, back right. Is that right?
The other left.
This one.
Whoa, okay, let's see. Oh, we ran out of keyboard. Oh no. Let's see. Anyway, she told me listen and play it, so that's what I tried. And then I guess is it the Catwalk Blues that we did, Dad? Yeah. You got your E flat harmonica? Ready? Let's wait on there. Let's see. See. Trying to figure out where am I going to run out of notes? Let's try it.
I don't know.
That's fun.
That's a lot of fun. You know, on the piano deal, I was on a cruise one time, and we went to a piano bar, and there was a guy there playing all the 40s big band music and stuff, and I was singing along, and he said, "Man, you know all those songs. What's the deal?" I said, "Well, I grew up from about 3 years old to whatever, sitting at the end of the piano as my mom would play those songs. I'd sing them along with her and stuff, and it's just, my goodness, you just don't see that very often." So it was her piano playing. So anyway,
Elise, I'd love for you to come sing with me. I won't sing. I won't torture anybody with that. But Elise.
Oh, okay.
There are 2 pedals. Okay, here you go. Well, you pick a mic, I guess. Which mic? No, you just have if you want to sit back here with me. Yeah, that'd be good. Hold on, they got the phone up there.
And please join us.
In the darkness we were waiting, without hope, without light, till from heaven you came running. There was mercy in your eyes, to fulfill the law and prophet. To a virgin came the word, from the throne of endless glory to a cradle in the dirt. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, 3 in 1. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. To reveal the kingdom coming, and to reconcile the lost, to redeem the whole creation. You did not despise the cross, for even in your suffering you saw to the other side, knowing this was our salvation. Jesus, for our sake you died. Praise the Son, praise the Spirit, 3 in 1. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the
So that was really good. Hey, it looks like we got a guitar player coming up. Man. That's Miss Iris and her dad.
So this is my daughter Iris. Should I just grab a cord here? One of the things I didn't share about my grandmother is she was the first one to ever make me and send me mixtapes every year of her favorite songs. And we didn't have a TV, so this was the first music I remember listening to was Bill Haley and the Comets and Richie Valens and the Beatles. And I kind of felt like that's the music that instead of listening to Michael Jackson or whatever, I was listening to these old songs. And she always loved great songwriters and music. And my daughter's going to sing a duet with me. She's going to sing "Here Comes the Sun," which she always loved.
Man, the talent just keeps coming. I'm just really impressed. But there's a reason for that, because that was family, and we're family. Whoop. Yes, you can. Here comes Jazz.
I'm the non-musical addition to the Archer family. I like to say the brothers-in-law, Sean and David, and I would just kind of sit back sometimes with a drink and let them do their musical thing. But I grew up mostly in the Northeast and the Midwest, and cowgirls and Texas and cowboy boots and all the lore and all of the things that go along with being from somewhere like Oklahoma or Texas or Arizona. It was all new to me when I came into the Archer family. And Grandma Veda was this really different kind of person to me when I met her. And she was this combination of really pretty, and also she could probably shoe a horse or something, she was like a cowgirl, and she had grit, but she also liked really pretty things. And one time she told me basically that. She said, I like pretty things, but I was a boy mom. And she said, so I had to learn how to like boy things. And I really appreciated that about her. And one of my favorite times with Grandma Veda when we were spending some Christmas time together, and she and I were talking, and I was thinking about, wow, she's just kind of a different person. She's just this cowgirl kind of personality to me. And I said, Grandma Veda, can I get you something to drink? And she goes, yeah, I'll take a whiskey. Neat. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, back in the day, she had her toddy. That's a fact. Yeah. A little bourbon and water. That's right. Calm you down. Calm your spirits a little bit. But anyway, anybody else? Oh, here comes Sterling and then Leslie.
So I'm going to try to get situated here. Leslie, if you want to come up and share a story, I'm going to get a song going here. Where you at? Yeah. All right. Do you want the mic? Nope. Okay. Well, I was asking my dad. He was like, what's tomorrow going to be like? What are the plans? And of course, all three Archer boys are like, we don't know the plan. We have no idea what's going on. We'll figure it out when we get there, which sounds about right. And so earlier I was asking, what songs, did Grandma like? What does she love? And as B said, and other people have said, she loved music so much. And I never knew my grandpa. He was gone before I was around. And so when I asked Dad, hey, what song would Grandma Veda have loved to have heard? He said this song that I'd never heard before. It was covered by Willie back in the 70s, but it was an older country standard, which is not really my deal. But here we are. But man, he said the song Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, and I'm sure you guys know it, right? Here's me, I don't know, all right? So, born in 90, all right? Just chill out. So, but just a quick word before we head into the song, but, Grandma was one of those people who she just gave without ever drawing attention to herself, right? I've got a smile that doesn't have all jacked up teeth because she made it possible for me to have braces, right? And I did not wear my retainer, unfortunately, but there she was still, giving without anyone ever knowing. Amen. And so this song, it's funny, not know my grandpa, and thinking about songs that she liked, this is a song that I can just imagine her singing to herself after he's passing. And the lyrics go like this, in the twilight glow.